Hello everyone. Now we will discuss question number 3. In question number 3, what is given? In triangle ABC, P and Q are midpoints of AB and AC in this diagram. And in triangle APQ, M and N are midpoints of AP and AQ. This is given in the question, correct? And Mn is given 1.6. We have to find BC. Now I have made two separate diagrams. You can see. Why? Since midpoint theorem is applicable in a single triangle, it means I have separated two triangles in which the midpoints are given. First triangle I have taken APQ, in which M and N are midpoints of sides AP and AQ. Another triangle I have taken, bigger triangle ABC, in which P and Q are midpoints of AB and AC. Now easily we can apply midpoint theorem in both the triangles, correct? Now in triangle APQ, if M and N are midpoints, it means we can write Mn is equal to 1 by 2 of PQ, equation 1, correct? Apply midpoint theorem. Similarly, we can apply midpoint theorem in triangle ABC also. In triangle ABC, P and Q are midpoints. It means PQ will be half of BC, second equation, and both are by midpoint theorem, correct? Now comparing equation 1 and 2, see, Mn is equal to half PQ and PQ is equal to half of BC, correct? Now from here we can equate what is the value of PQ. We can write, see, in equation 1 we are having Mn is equal to half PQ. We are having Mn equal to half PQ. Now at the place of PQ we can replace half BC, correct? At the place of PQ we can replace half BC, clear? Now clear, Mn is half PQ, and at the place of PQ we can write half BC. It means at the place of PQ we can write half is already present, and at the place of PQ we can write again half of BC, correct? It means Mn is 1 by 2 into 1 by 2. It means 1 by 4 of BC, correct? Mn is 1 by 4 of BC, and we have to find BC. How you will find BC? We have proved Mn is 1 by 4 of BC. Therefore, what is the value of BC? 4 times Mn. It means 4 times Mn is 1.6, that is 6.4 centimeter, correct? Clear? We have applied midpoint theorem in two triangles. Our first, Mn is half PQ and PQ is half BC. At the place of PQ we have substituted half BC, therefore that will become 1 by 4 of BC. Then BC is 4 times Mn and Mn is given 1.6. We have calculated BC, correct? Again, what is given in question number 4? In one diagram, two triangles are given. Now I have made two diagrams from the given diagram in your question. In one diagram, I have taken triangle ABC, and the midpoints of triangle ABC are given. D is midpoint of BC, E is the midpoint of AC, and F is the midpoint of AB. Now in the same diagram, for the triangle DEF, here for the triangle DEF, again midpoints of all the sides are given. What? P is the midpoint of EF, R is the midpoint of DE, and Q is the midpoint of DF. I have made two diagrams. Why? For applying midpoint theorem we have to identify a triangle. Now I have identified both the triangles. First one triangle ABC, another one is triangle DEF. Now we can apply midpoint theorem very easily. in triangle ABC, if you apply midpoint theorem, then see what are the midpoints here. Midpoints are D and F. It means DF will be equal to half of AC. Correct? By applying midpoint theorem, DF is equal to half of AC. Similarly, DE is equal to half of AB. Correct? And last, EF is equal to half of BC, all by midpoint theorem. Correct? By midpoint theorem, if we join two midpoints of two sides in a triangle, that will be equal to half of the third side. Correct? Now all values are given, AC, AB, BC. We can find DF, DE and EF. Find half AC, and AC is 6.8, that is 3.4. Half AB, AB is 4.8, that is 2.4. Half BC, BC is 7.2, that is 3.6 centimeter. Now what we have done, we have calculated the sides of the triangle DEF using the midpoint theorem in triangle ABC. Correct? What we have written, DF is half of AC, DE is half of AB and EF is half of BC. Correct? Whenever you will join midpoints of two sides, like you are joining E and F, then this line segment will be parallel and equal to half of BC. Correct? Now we will apply midpoint theorem again, but the triangle is different. Now the triangle is DEF. Now if we will take Q and R, the midpoints in triangle DEF also, midpoints of all the sides are given. Now if we will take Q and R, then QR will be half of EF or not? QR will be half of EF or not? QR will be half of EF. Similarly, if you will take PR, then PR will be half of DF using midpoint theorem. It means PR will be half of DF using midpoint theorem. Similarly, what is left? QR, PR done. Similarly, PQ will be half of ED. PQ will be half of ED or D. Correct? Using midpoint theorem again in triangle DEF. Correct? How to identify triangle? Means how to apply midpoint theorem. First we have to identify the triangle, and then how to identify the sides. Whenever you will join the midpoints, like we are joining P and R, then see the opposite side. Here we are joining P and R, PR. Then what is the opposite side? Opposite side is DF. Similarly, here we are joining QR, then QR and opposite side is EF. It means QR is equal to half EF, PR is equal to half DF. Clear? Similarly, PQ opposite side ED, it means PQ is half of D. Correct? Now all the values we are getting here, EF, DF and D, substitute. Now the values are half EF. EF is given 3.6. This will become 1.8. Similarly, half DF. DF is given, or we have calculated 1.7. Similarly, half D. D we have calculated 2.4. That is 1.2. It means these all are the sides of triangle PQR. This is QR. This is PR and this is PQ. These all are the sides of triangle PQR. Understood? I have separated the diagram. In both triangles we have applied midpoint theorem. In next question, question number 5. Again what is given? In triangle PQR, midpoint of all the sides are given. L is the midpoint of PQ, M is the midpoint of QR and N is the midpoint of PR. First we have to join the points L, M and N. When you will join the points L, M, N, we will get a triangle that is LMN. The triangle is The triangle is LMN. Now we have to prove that the perimeter of the smaller triangle LMN is half of the perimeter of the bigger triangle PQR. Again we will apply midpoint theorem. See, if we will join these two midpoints L and N, then opposite side is QR. It means Ln is half of QR or not, correct? Ln is half of QR. Similarly, if you will take these two midpoints L and M, opposite side is PR. It means Lm is half of PR, correct? Take the midpoints and opposite side. Here L and N was midpoint, Ln is half of opposite side QR. L and M are the midpoints, Lm is half of opposite side PR. Now what is left? We can take M and N. Mn is half of opposite side is PQ. It means Mn is half of opposite side PQ. Correct? Up to here all by midpoint theorem. Now if you will add all the equations means equation 1, equation. Why we are adding? If you will add, why we are adding? Correct? Since we have to find the perimeter of triangle LM, and what is the perimeter of triangle LMN? Perimeter of triangle LMN. Perimeter means sum of all the sides. It means LM plus MN plus LN. Correct? Perimeter of triangle LMN. Now LM can be written as, what is the value of LM? Half PR plus, what is the value of MN? Half PQ plus, what is the value of LN? Half QR. Correct? Up to here. Perimeter means sum of all the sides. Now using these equations we have substituted the value of LM, MN and LN. LM is half PR using equation 2. Mn is half PQ using equation 3. Ln is half QR using equation 1 using midpoint theorem. Now half is common. What is left? Half is common. PR plus PQ plus QR. Correct? The result? It means what we are getting, you can see perimeter of triangle LMN is half the sum of the sides of triangle PQR. Sum of the sides of triangle PQR means this is the perimeter of triangle PQR. It means this is nothing but half perimeter of triangle PQR or not. Correct? Half perimeter of triangle PQR. Correct? Half perimeter of triangle PQR. Why? Perimeter means for any triangle or any figure, sum of all the sides. Here half is common. What is left? PR plus PQ plus QR. It means this is the sum of all the sides of triangle PQR. It means this can be regarded as P. Here P means perimeter. Perimeter of triangle PQR. Correct? It means we have proved what? Perimeter of triangle LMN is equal to half perimeter of triangle PQR. Correct? Proved? Understood? Now in next question number 6, we have to prove that if you will join the midpoints of the sides of an isosceles triangle, then we are obtaining a triangle. Then that triangle will be also an isosceles triangle. The question is, suppose one isosceles triangle is given. We have taken triangle ABC. Let AB is equal to AC. We can take the sides 2x, 2x, y isosceles, and third side different as 2y. Correct? Isosceles triangle means two sides are equal. Correct? Then we have to prove that the triangle obtained by joining the midpoint of the sides of the isosceles triangle, correct? Triangle obtained by joining the midpoints of the sides of an isosceles triangle is also isosceles. Correct? Now we have taken the midpoints here. Suppose the midpoints are P, Q and R. Correct? Again we have to apply midpoint theorem. Suppose we are taking the midpoints as PR, then PR will be equal to half of AC PR is equal to half of AC opposite side. Similarly, PQ will be equal to half of P and Q are midpoints already given in the question. What midpoint of all the sides are given? PQ half of opposite side PC. Similarly, QR is half of opposite side AB. Correct? Now substitute the values. Half AC. AC I have taken 2x. It means this will come x. BC I have taken 2y. This will come y. AB I have taken 2x. This will come x. Correct? Using midpoint theorem. Now you can see in triangle PQR. In triangle PQR. What are the sides we are getting? PQ is y, PR is x and QR is also x. It means in triangle PQR we can see two sides PR and QR are equal to x and third side is different. It means this triangle is also isosceles or isosceles triangle. What we had to prove. Correct? Using midpoint theorem. Clear everyone? Now question number 8. It is similar to question number 6, but in question number 6 triangle mentioned was isosceles and here triangle mentioned is right angle triangle. Rest the question is same. What? Prove that triangle obtained by joining the midpoints of the sides of a right angle triangle is also a right angle. It means let triangle ABC, a right angle triangle. I have taken angle B as 90 degree. Midpoint of all the sides are given. I have taken midpoints as P, Q and R. If these are midpoints, we can take the two parts of each side as equal. R is midpoint. These two will be equal x and x. These two will be equal y and y. Similarly, if P is midpoint, we can take Z and Z. Means if this is 2 cm, this is also 2 cm, but we are not knowing the value. It means we can take x and x. Similarly, we can take y and y. What is the reason? Q is midpoint. Similarly, P is midpoint. It means if this is Z, this will be also Z. Now what we have to prove? If you will join the midpoints. Okay, join the midpoints. Correct? What we have to prove? If you will join the midpoints, then the triangle obtained. Which triangle is obtained? That is triangle PQR. Correct? If we will join the midpoints, the triangle obtained will be also a right angle triangle. We have to prove. Okay, first we have to apply midpoint theorem. Correct? Again you can see in the triangle here P and Q are the midpoints. It means PQ will be half of BC. Correct? Join the midpoints, that will be half of opposite side, that is BC. Similarly QR. Correct? QR will be Q and R are the midpoints. Now this will be also equal to half of the opposite side. It means QR will be half of AB. Correct? And the third one, if we will join P and R opposite side is AC. It means PR is half of AC. Correct? Using midpoint theorem. In previous question also we have done. Correct? PQ half BC opposite side, PR half of opposite side AC, and QR, half of opposite side, that is ABY, P, Q and R are the midpoints of the triangle, midpoints of the sides of the triangle ABC, correct? Now you can see if PQ is half BC, then we can find the value of all the sides. What are the values? We are having this result in triangle PQR. Again I have written PQ half BC, QR half AB and PR half AC. We have to take midpoints and we will join the midpoints, that will equal to half of the opposite side PQ, half of opposite side BC, QR half of opposite side AB and PR half of opposite side AC. Now substitute the value. We have taken half of BC. Directly you can see what is half of BC. Directly half of BC is, you can see x and x. It means half of BC is x. Similarly, what is half of AB? We have taken z and z. It means this is z. Similarly, what is half of AC? We have taken half of AC means y and y. It means this is y. Or this is 2y, 2y by 2y, 2x by 2x, 2z by 2. That is z. Correct? It means we have obtained the sides of PQ, QR and PR. Now, but we have to prove this triangle is right angle triangle. Now we will use congruence of triangles. See, we are having two triangles. One is triangle It means now we are having two triangles, triangle PBR and triangle PQR. Already we have calculated all the values. PB is Z, BR is X, PR is Y in this triangle. In this triangle also PQ is X, QR is Z, PR is Y. Already we have calculated all the values. Now you can see in both the triangles. It means in both the triangles all the three sides are equal to each other. You can see in triangle PBR and triangle PQR, all the sides are equal. Which one side? See, PB is equal to QR, Z, BR is equal to PQ, that is X, and PR is equal to PR, that is Y. It means both triangles are congruent by the criteria SSS. It means triangle PBR is congruent to triangle. See how to write. Triangle PBR is congruent to triangle PRQ by criteria SSS. Correct? PBR and PQR. Correct? It means both triangles are congruent by SSS, and if the triangles are congruent, their corresponding parts are equal by CP/CT. It means if angle B is 90, this will be also 90. It means angle PQR is equal to angle PBR is equal to 90 degree by CP/CT. Correct? Understood why triangles are congruent? All the three sides are equal. Order is different, that is not a problem. But here PBR is equal to PQRY. B must be equal to Q. Here B is at second place, therefore Q must be also at second place. Why? B is 90 degree. Q is also 90 degree by CP/CT. It means we have proved that when we have joined the midpoints of the sides of the right angle triangle, the obtained triangle PQR is also a right angle triangle. Correct? Half part by midpoint theorem and half part by congruence of triangle. Now last question of the exercise, question number 9. What we have to prove? In triangle ABC, midpoint of all the sides are given D, midpoint of AB, E midpoint of AC, and F midpoint of BC. We have to prove that another thing. We have to prove that DE and AF bisect each other. DE and AF bisect each other. I have not joined AF now, I will join AF. But first of all, if DE and F are the midpoints, it means what is the result we are having? We are having what? DF is equal to half of AC, and half AC can be written as AE or EC. Why? E is midpoint. If E is midpoint, half AC can be written as AE, correct? Similarly, DE is equal to half of BC using midpoint theorem, and half BC can be written as half BC. F is midpoint, it means half BC can be written as BF or FC, correct? BF or FC. Any one thing you can write BF or FC, correct? And last one, EF is equal to half of AB. EF is equal to half of AB, midpoint theorem. Half AB can be written as AD or BD. Why? D is midpoint, it means D will divide AB in two parts. It means half AB can be written as BD or AD. I am writing AD, correct? It means you can see that DF and AE both are same. Similarly, EF and AD both are same, correct? We will use these two results. Now we have to prove that DE and AF bisect each other. Now join AF, correct? I have joined AF. Now we are having two triangles. Suppose this is O, correct? Suppose this triangle is O. So we have proved that DF is equal to AE and EF is equal to AD. Now in quadrilateral ADFE, we have proved that DF is equal to AE and EF is equal to AD. It means opposite sides are equal, correct? Opposite sides are equal, and when the opposite sides are equal in any quadrilateral, that quadrilateral is a parallelogram. See, in quadrilateral ADFE, opposite sides are equal. Which opposite sides? DF and AE and EF and AD. Opposite sides are equal, therefore it is a ADEF is a parallelogram. And what are the property of diagonals of parallelogram? Diagonals of parallelogram bisect each other. Diagonals of any parallelogram bisect each other. And what are the diagonals in the parallelogram ADFE? Diagonals are AF and D. It means DE and AF are diagonals. DE and AF are diagonals of the parallelogram ADEF, and diagonals of parallelogram bisect each other. Therefore, DE and AF bisect each other using the properties of parallelogram. Hence, proved. Understood?